In this video, I'm sharing with you what I've learned while making this diorama in just one day. So let's get started. I start by planning and then cutting a 27 by 35 cm foam base for the diorama. Then once I was happy with the placement of the buildings and track, I marked the position on the foam with a marker. Also marking where I want the road to be. Then I removed everything so I could do the texturing on the road. For this I simply used some plaster and painted it on like this. And because I wanted to do this in one day, I then glued on the track bed and track while the road texturing was drying. At this stage it was already 10 PM. Next, while that was drying, I mixed up some of my homemade sculptor mold. By the way, I have a video showing 5 different methods to make your own, link in the description. But yeah, I simply created some terrain like this. After about 10 minutes you can smooth it out really nicely. Then to help it dry faster I used this small heater. I also painted the rails a rusty brown color. This took over 40 minutes to do, but it's worth it. This looks much better than leaving it unpainted. Then I cut off the extra rail and did some filing. The tops of the rails can be cleaned with some sandpaper. Then ballasting. No, just kidding. Do not do ballasting when you are not done with the ground texture and other stuff. Otherwise you will have trouble applying the ground texture up to the edge of the ballast, and it will look unrealistic. For the road, I first gave it a quick sand, then I painted it with this dark paint. Next I spray over some of this grey paint. I spray it from about 60 cm to allow the paint to dry a bit in the air before it lands on the road surface. That way it creates a speckled appearance, creating a nice texture for the road. Then I applied some washes and did some dry brushing. It did not come out exactly as I wanted, but it's not that bad. Moving on. The ground texture was created by first applying some diluted PVA glue and then sprinkling over the different dirt textures. I then cleaned the road and track with a soft paint brush, and I made sure that I didn't touch any of the parts with glue. I recommend you leave the glue to dry for a few hours before ballasting, but I decided to do it directly after applying the ground texture. If you decide to do this as well, make sure you apply the ballast really carefully, so you don't get any ballast on the wet glue areas where you don't want it, because it will be really hard to remove without disturbing the ground texture. Then I fix it all down by first spraying it with some soapy water and then applying diluted PVA glue, the same as used for the ground texture. Excess glue can be soaked up using a paper towel. Then I installed the fence just to see how it would look once it's completed. Now for the really fun and satisfying part, static grass. I used some of this Nog static grasses. I haven't used many different brands of static grass, but this is some of the best static grass I've used so far. I mixed quite a few different lengths and colors to get the desired result. I'll be using this grass app from Dream Trains. Before applying the glue, make sure the grass app is ready to go, because the glue dries quite fast. I then apply the glue and let the grass app do its magic. I work in small sections at a time, because the glue dries fast and you don't want the glue to dry before you get to all the areas. Once I was done, I disturbed the grass with my hand to make it look more like grass and less like carpet. Then I glued on the fence and street lights. I also added a light in the main petrol station building, but I don't want to show that in the video because it's quite janky. But I might make a video about doing it the right way in the future. But now let's enjoy a few shots of the finished diorama. If you want to support me and help me buy a resin 3D printer, please consider visiting my Buy Me a Coffee page, link in the description. But that's it for this video, I'll see you in a future video. Bye.